I am fully aware at how late this review is. I look disheveled as all heck, but nonetheless, I still would like to review this movie, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I attempted to see this movie on 3 different occasions, all because the first few times the movie was just not playing. Something was either wrong with the projector or one of the drives the movie was on was corrupted and the movie could not be played. I guess I'm kind of very lucky to finally actually be here to talk about this movie. It takes place in 1994 and stars everyone that we know and love, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and they are teaming up yet again with the humans, and this time also the Maximals, the animal versions of the Transformers, all in an effort to stop a world-eating threat from destroying the Earth. Meanwhile, the Transformers, they're attempting to get back home. The Maximals, they've come to accept humanity, and the Decepticons, or I guess they're not Decepticons in this movie, they're Terra something another. And if it's not fully transparent, I'm not personally a huge Transformers fan. I loved the cartoons growing up. I enjoyed the first 3 movies with Shia LaBeouf, so going into this movie, I didn't have high expectations other than to see some robots fighting other robots, and that's exactly what I got out of this movie. It's basically your typical summer, early 2000s blockbuster, except in the year of 2023. So what works for me in this movie? Well, Noah's character was probably the best part of the entire film, which is weird to say because typically in movies like this featuring giant robots or kaiju creatures, I don't want to focus on the humans as much as they typically do in these movies. I understand with budget, screen time, special effects, all the work that these animators have to go through to bring these characters to life. But in this movie, I actually really did appreciate the human side of the story, the elements that were presented, the hard work that these characters had to go through, and they were just really fleshed out humans. And of course, there were some lines in the script, and you could definitely point out that they were written by Hollywood producers who are just definitely way out of touch with how people actually speak. But thankfully, a majority of the time, these human characters, both Noah and Elena, they both come off very natural a majority of the screen time, and I really enjoyed that and what they were able to do with these 2 characters, especially with the focus on Noah and just how in-depth we got with that character. I felt very attached to him. He didn't feel like a character who was just in along for the ride, and that's especially easy to do with these movies that are focused on these bigger threats, these aliens, these otherworldly creatures. Being this small human, you just kind of feel like you're going on a ride. But the character of Noah, he actually took a lot of things into his own hands, and that was something I really appreciated about the structure of this film. The actor, and actually both actors for Elena as well, they both did such a phenomenal job throughout this film, and I couldn't help but be attached more so to the human elements of the story, which feels very ironic watching a Transformers movie. Although, as a child, I did latch onto the human characters in the cartoon series, and I kind of did something similar here with that. As an older adult, appreciating seeing older adults interact with the Autobots, I thought it was just a fun, good time overall. Moving along to the Autobots, I personally wasn't a fan of them, especially with how we met them, how they just did not care for humanity, and the amount of things that they did to humanity just to rally up in a meeting point. Basically just some very minor spoilers, nothing to do with the plot. Some police officers and some citizens end up dying in a car chase that does not have to do with anything resulting with like the Decepticons or the evil robots. Something that I would personally understand is that they are maybe defending the city and there are some casualties and it just can't be helped. But the beginning of this movie, it really just throws at you that, wow, these Autobots just do not care about humanity. For it being a children's movie at that, the conflicting tonalities, they just don't really mesh well with me, the viewer. I was very shocked to find out that Mirage was by far probably one of my favorite Transformers, if not one of my favorite Transformers, throughout the entirety of each and every single movie. I actually really enjoyed Pete Davidson's performance as Mirage. Regardless, I was not anticipating Mirage nor Pete Davidson to be a standout in this movie, but alas, here I am praising Pete Davidson and looking forward to his future filmographies because he actually does have a huge talent pool to pull from, and I'm excited to see what he can do elsewise with his range of acting skills. For a movie titled Rise of the Beasts, we actually don't see a lot of the beasts until like the last quarter of the movie, which for me was actually kind of shocking. I thought we would see a lot of these characters interact with Optimus Prime, maybe a little bit of infighting between the two good guy factions before taking on the, I keep wanting to call them Decepticons, so I'm just gonna call them Decepticons. Despite there being a few plot contrivances, I actually kind of dug the movie. I like the special effects, the camera work. I can thoroughly say that I had a fun time with this movie. It's definitely your summer action blockbuster film. It's here to be fun and explosive and exciting, especially for kids to show up at the theater and watch some robots duke it out with each other. And on that scale, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts succeeds in every single category. Do I recommend it? With all the other movies coming out and some of the movies that are actually currently in theaters, I believe that there are some better options for you. But if you are a Transformers fan, I think you'll have fun with this one. It's gonna be a good time. If I had to go ahead and give this movie an overall score, I would have to go and say it's a solid 7 for me. Thank you guys so much for watching my movie review of Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. And also, if you guys are new here, hit subscribe. We talk about movies every single week. My name's Austin, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.